Good morning. This is Araya. So because this is like a video journal, I don't always make a plan before coming on here what I'm gonna say. So I'm just gonna keep talking about my experiences. I did pull a couple of cards this isn't like my morning reading, but with the intent of, where I should go, because the kind of person I am, my mind, I'll be in a million different places if I don't give myself some kind of direction, and nothing will make sense, one way or another, giving myself direction. Because there is so much that I love talking about, and so much that, that I want to share just in general. So I need to, be mindful of having some kind of direction, my reading this morning, I'm trying to, kind of not think about my relationship so much, but, my intention is, most mornings is, how can I, embody divine grace in this moment? How can I align with my divine will today for optimal success? How can I best heal myself? So that stuff is still coming up. And, it's coming up that things aren't necessarily as they seem. There's a lot of illusion. There's even some deception, but like that stuff I can't point that out anymore. But things things not being what they seem. I don't know. I feel like giving that too much thought is just not going to go anywhere. I just need to have faith, because everything else is telling me to have faith, and everything's going to, as long as I surrender. This is a big lesson for me in surrendering. It's like, it says this is what they're saying to me. This isn't necessarily like, I don't know how to take it, but like, this is all for me. This is all happening for me. And then this totally comes to mind. This is the Tower card. And I know when I get this in a reading, now this wasn't in my personal reading today, but this was in what I pulled as far as what to talk about. I get this feeling of dread whenever this comes up in a reading, because I understand that when all is said and done, it's not a negative thing. So the Tower is all about the foundations of what you knew just crumbling down. It's usually quite an unpleasant experience to go through, and this is what I've been going through. But as unpleasant as it is, and as scary as it is, and with the amount that it throws you off balance, it's all for a great reason. It's because you can't build on a faulty foundation. We're going through these shifts, and this is the other one, like this accelerated motion for me. I know, because I was off my path for a while. So my path in the past 5 years has been very accelerated, and it's only accelerating more and more. So periodically, at least once a year, if not twice a year, I'm going to get these Tower moments where it's like the very fibers of who I thought I was have to burn down, to build up new, to reinvent myself, and really step into to really step into my true divine nature, and it's so tricky, because we don't have anybody really, when you think about it, to look up to and model after. Not yet. I don't know anybody that's walking around, glowing and being able to reverse age themselves in instants and stuff like that. I know some pretty masterful people, but not fifth strand activation master, you know? And so there's all these questions as far as like, well, what am I supposed to be? What am I supposed to be like? And you know what, that I think is the whole point of this earth game, where we go through this veil of illusion and these veils of forgetting, and this way we're left not knowing who we are or what we're supposed to do or be. And so we have to figure it out again, and just use our pure thoughts and beliefs and words to do that, and just explore, and really just being here is our chance to re-become, you know, if that makes sense. And so because we don't remember exactly who we are or what our mission and purpose was, what we came here to do, we need to try different things and just look for signs that we're either in alignment or out of alignment, you know. You know, good days happen and bad days happen, but when you're facing stretches where you're in the flow and things are just working out, it's like you don't really even need to worry about anything too much, because everything is just kind of, everything that isn't right just course corrects before you even approach it, you know, simply because you're approaching it. That's alignment, that state of flow. And that doesn't mean that you know, when you have a flow state, if something goes wrong, that's not your flow state anymore, but it means that's kind of like the baseline of how things are going. It's like it's a flow, you know, where when you're not in alignment, you get a lot of negative feedback from the universe consistently, you know. It's like swimming against the current, you know, and we need to kind of look at the feedback we get from the universe, from the people we interact with, from the things that we do, and to kind of direct us. I look at all of that to see, well, am I in alignment or am I out of alignment, you know? And while I've had this happening, you know, and the brunt of that is over. I'm not like, you know, right now I'm in the process of rebuilding my foundation, which is my matrix, you know, my whole way of being, you know. So while this has happened, and also, you know, there's been feelings of this being, you know, away from a person that is very much a part of me, and I still feel is, it has opened up so many other opportunities. It has opened me up to, really, I'm getting exactly what I asked for, you know, in a sense that there was a long time that I was complaining that I couldn't focus, you know, where I was at. There was just too much going on, and I was really struggling to get certain things done with our business and things like that, and there was just so much around me that I just couldn't. I was moving at such a slow pace up as far as our business, and I felt like I was plateaued on my spiritual development, if not kind of declining a little bit, that I needed a significant change there. And that's part of the reason why, you know, I wanted to leave for a while, but then I feel like that there's this door that's locked on me at times. But the other part of me knows that it isn't, that it's just the opposite, you know. But now I'm in a place where I can focus most of the time and concentrate, and I'm getting a lot of work done. You know, and the only thing that ever keeps me from getting the work done is when I'm dealing with that other stuff. And that's, you know, the emotions and stuff are distracting me, and, you know, and I know because of that, that's where I need to be, you know, and then I have to release. And it doesn't mean that it's lost. It means that I just have to let go for now and trust, and once I do that, you know, the wheel will turn in my favor, right? And so I have these two really tough life lessons, right? And this very talented woman, Barbara, read my palm and illuminated that for me. And there's the School of Wisdom, which is where people that have this have the predisposition to go in between. I know everything and I know nothing. I'm worthless, you know, and it's about finding that in between. And that makes it very hard when you when your experience kind of provokes you to flip flop between those extremes. And only a few people have a second life lesson. And my other life lesson, actually the primary life lesson, is I forget exactly what it's called, but it's all about chaos and remaining calm in the middle of chaos. And that's why I had been through so many different unpleasant things, so that I could learn to really be the calm in the middle of a storm. And I think that, you know, a lot of the time I can be very good at that, but some of the time when it's too personal, or if I'm too emotionally invested in something, that's very difficult for me. Because if I'm too attached to something, and that's it, it's attachment. If I'm like too attached to something, that's going to be hard for me. But likewise, this is another thing I wanted to talk about, you know, and I'm honestly trying to figure this out. Like, I trust my intuition, and and it has served me before, but there are times when I get an inkling that this is wrong. This doesn't make sense. The math doesn't add up. There's this puzzle piece in this situation that doesn't belong, and it's wrong. And I know from a higher perspective, everything is perfect, you know, but in order to reach like this point of reaching a goal or creating the life that we want, from that perspective, when I am able to see that there's something here that's not right and it needs to change, I feel like that actually I know that that's my intuition, that's my soul, especially when I'm saying, I don't want to feel this, you know, guides, higher self, help me release this, you know, help me be okay with this. And after a very long time, I'm still not, and I'm wanting to. I read that as intuition. For instance, when we first bought the house, you know, we were going to try to redo it and you know, make more rooms and get, you know, sheetrock on the walls instead of paneling. And the discussions about that, for some reason, and I couldn't understand why, really, other than I knew that it wasn't right, would cause a massive amount of anxiety and feelings of overwhelmness in me. And I'm like, guys, you can't do this. I can't really explain why, but we're not supposed to be redoing the house right now. And when you're trying to talk to people like that, it's so hard, because it's like, how are you gonna just tell someone that you can't do this because it's wrong, and I don't know why it's wrong, but it's wrong, you know? Thankfully that time, you know, they kind of took it to heart, and it turned out a week later the price of wood like went through the roof. So we would have started a project that would have costed too much to fix for us to afford, you know. That's what I mean. You know, I've had a lot of situations like that where I know that like something should not be. I know something like is, and I'm just going to use the word for simplicity's sake, I know nothing's actually wrong, but you know, there are times when I see something that is, I'll say misaligned for the result that I believe that we were trying to produce. And it's just hard, and it's always been hard for me when I know something is wrong, and I know that there's like some kind of fallback coming from it even, and it's hard to explain that, and it's even harder to And especially when I'm like, when I have the attitude that, who's going to listen to me when this is all I got, that attitude in and of itself, right, will project that like a less than faithful response from people. So that's been a little bit of a struggle for me, but I know the answer for me. I had this really funny dream. It was just funny because of the way, like, in dreams, like, you interpret things like in the dream and how things go. So, I'm often in dreams, like, I know I'm somewhere and there's a project I'm trying to complete. I'm not sure what that project is, or I'm helping with something and I'm not sure what I'm helping with, but there's something being done there. And so I had this dream where it was like the energy of this project I'm trying to finish, or this thing I'm trying to complete, you know. And so I'm standing, and I think it was it was either a being without gender or male, and they were pulling cards for me, and I think there were 4 or 5 cards. They're saying 5. There were 5 cards. One of them was different than the others, and the rest of them, there were like these clouds on the cards with like this rainbow light coming throughout the clouds. And for some reason, in the dream, that was interpreted as my yoni and the light portal coming through. And the message from that was to embrace my femininity to succeed. And that's something that I've struggled with. I was programmed in different ways to believe that the feminine, even the divine feminine, was weak. I was programmed at a young age to believe that it was a weakness to be vulnerable. I was programmed at a young age to see that, to think that it was a weakness to be in surrender, or to be allowing, to be even nurturing sometimes, and so I went a long time with just being nothing, but as I healed, I felt the need to really step into the divine masculine energy and just take control, because I felt like my life was so out of control for so long. I had to take the wheel and really drive it to a place that I knew. Mister, I know you were there. I had to really take the wheel and turn it in the direction that I wanted to go. And you know what? That was perfect for that time. But now I need to heal the feminine. This is my left side. This is the feminine. It does need a lot of healing, as you could see. And also part of that healing of the feminine was all the times I felt like I was, unworthy of support, or unworthy of anything, unworthy of love, unworthy of an experience, or what else is there? All the times that I've held back love or held back compassion out of fear of being judged, out of fear of it being used against me as a weakness, fear of, like I said, being vulnerable, thinking that if I were vulnerable, or if I showed any kind of weakness, it could and would be used against me. But you know what? If you're vulnerable and you're standing firm in your power, and you're on a path of mastery with your energy, then nothing can really hurt you. When you have your team at your back, when your team has your back, then it's all good, right? The universe has your back. And this is what I teach, and this is what I believe. Not everybody out there is trustworthy. And yeah, there's people out there that might want to hurt you, that might be envious, that might be jealous, that might covet what you have. And those aren't the people you need to worry about trusting, because it doesn't really matter. What you need to trust is yourself and your intuition to guide you to where you need to be. And the other thing you need to trust is the universe, to where if you kind of, zag from your guidance, either by mistake or because it's like, well, I don't really want to do that. Well, the universe is going to have your back and it's going to get course correct real fast. You know, so trusting others is less important than trusting yourself and the universe. You want to trust the people that are close to you. You know, that's something that I'm working on right now, you know. But still it's a toss up, you know, because you have to be sure that you surrounded yourself with people that you can trust. But at the same time, if you're trusting your intuition and you're trusting the universe, you know that if someone somehow betrays your trust, then it's not actually going to hurt that bad because the universe has your back and you're listening to your intuition and know how to course correct it, you know. And trust is a very divine feminine quality too. It's all about trust, receptivity, being open to receiving. That's another thing. You know, I have had experiences in the past where I have been in a position where I was compelled to feel bad about receiving what was offered to me. You know, I have been in a position to feel bad about asking for things, you know, and I'm just now learning that it's okay to ask for things. It's good for ask for things. It's good to be open to receive. And a big part of doing that gracefully is just, you know, clear, concise, passionate, compassionate communication, you know, mindful communication, and also mindfulness of what you're asking for and who you're asking, you know. So there's a lot there, a lot of that divine feminine stuff in me to heal. And I feel like that there's a lot of that in our collective. I know that we are doing a women's retreat in November. This is going to be a half-day women's retreat at the studio. Today I'm actually going to a women's retreat as long as Athena's eye gets better. Going to a women's retreat in Hot Springs for a few days. And then the women's retreat that we're having here in November, that's going to be repeated in a full weekend, you know, an expanded version sometime next year. So that's all very exciting. You know, all the things that I've been giving up and sacrificing, I have all these other opportunities coming in, and it's really special, and it really shows me that I'm in alignment. I'm just grieving, you know, and I'm still grieving in a way, not being able to share that fully with somebody I hold truly near and dear to me. But everything I'm seeing is telling me that is temporary, you know, and not just that it's temporary, but it's for me. It's so that I can build what I'm supposed to build, you know. I just have to release the fear that things are going to turn so sideways that I won't want to ever go home. I need to release the mistrust, because the last time I did that with him, I mean, he made some mistakes, but he ended up you know, course correcting eventually and stuff. You know, and I guess the moral to this is balance. I feel like I'm making this way too long now, but I could go on, you know. And definitely that for everything you give up, to have faith, because like so much is going to come in to fill those spaces. When you sacrifice and when you release and when you let go, it creates openings for things that are of a higher frequency to come and fill you up. And I'm definitely seeing that, and it's really beautiful. And I thank you, whoever is listening, just because to say this out loud is a reminder, and I need that reminder. And yeah, thanks for Thanks for listening to me. Remember that this ends up being a very good thing. You just have to get through it and have faith. And remember to balance. I'm sending so much love out there, and I hope you all are having a wonderful day, and I hope any of you that are making sacrifices are seeing that the light is coming through to fill up those empty spaces, and I hope that anybody who has sacrifices to make, you know, that has things to let go and has been afraid to, is now seeing that it's okay to let things go, because it's all for you. It's all for you. Something better is going to fill that up. You know, and sometimes you're going to let something go that was meant for you, and when it's meant for you, it'll circle back around. All right, well, I'm sending lots of love out there. I hope you all have a wonderful day.